And we're back. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sub-Auteurs. We like movies. My name's Mai.
I'm Misha.
And I'm Anjo.
It's been a while, friends. It's been quite a while.
Guess who's back? Back again.
It's been a while.
Wow.
Nox, wow.
Kanya-kanya eh.
We took a very much needed bereavement leave.
Yes, we did.
And
We're still grieving.
Yes, we are actually still grieving. And if you know what our last episode before this was, then you'll know why.
It's easier to laugh than to cry.
We're both feeling much better now after some much needed retail therapy.
Retail therapy is good.
I went to the beach a couple of times.
But I should be grieving when my credit card bill comes naman.
Yes, you will.
So yes, as shitty as things may be politically here, tuloy ang laban. We're gonna go back to talking about movies we love, and we're going to start this next phase. Wow, parang Marvel, my face. We're gonna jumpstart the next phase of this podcast with something pretty awesome. So exciting. At least we get
there's
to
just
talk
so
about
many
good shit
thoughts.
again.
You can say it's almost everything. Everywhere. At the same time.
Wow. Binago mo. Nakakaasar.
He tried.
I tried. I always get the title wrong.
Mm-hmm. So you know what we're talking about. Let's get it on.
Like Donkey Kong.
Oh my God.
I am a father.
Okay.
You are the father.
Yeah, that's because that's all you can watch in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh my God.
Yeah, okay. Speaking of Cincinnati, Ohio, we also have an announcement. Not really. I mean, we won't be releasing episodes as often as we did, like not weekly, because Misha is on vacation in the US.
So
I'm
live,
sorry.
not from New York, in Ohio.
I will not have you bad-mouthing Ohio.
Yeah, you have Bengals. You have the Bengals, which is a good NFL team.
Akala ko bangles, yung nasa wrist. As in Shang-Chi and the bangles. I know a lot about sports.
Oh my God. Sports ball.
Sports ball.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So, Misha might be in another state when we record next. But yes, we will allow Misha to enjoy his vacation and buy us shit when he gets back.
Emphasis on bias. Shit. When he gets back.
Yeah, I guess I should at some point.
Thank you.
Yeah, for you guys, I'll stop by 7-Eleven on the way.
If you guys have any orders, just DM us and we'll just send it to Misha.
Boy. Jackass.
Yeah, DM me and Anjo will give you Misha's details.
What the actual hell?
Okay. All right, back to the movie. We are talking about Everything Everywhere All at Once. Yes, I know a lot of people have been raving about this, so we were super excited to talk about it. It's directed by Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert.
Mm-hmm. Known as the Daniels.
Yes, the Daniels. And it's distributed by A24, not necessarily produced, but it still has that A24 flavor. And so, Misha, tell us what it was all about.
God, you guys are mean. What? Okay, fine.
You're the one on vacation.
Hey, you're in the
Thanks
States
a
with
lot.
better internet.
You're in the States with better government.
Blah. Oh my God. Okay, it's about this immigrant couple played by Michelle Yeoh and Hui Kwan. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. They play an immigrant Chinese couple who own a laundromat, and they run it with their daughter Joy. And when we meet Evelyn, she's like kind of overwhelmed by everything she's got going on in her life. You know, her father's on the way. She has to put on like a Chinese New Year party for the neighborhood. Her daughter is bringing her girlfriend to the party. Her father is coming. She's being audited by the IRS. So she's got all these things on her plate, right? And as she goes through her day, she finds out that she's not necessarily the only Evelyn in the multiverse. And she gets sucked into this huge thing where she's going to have to pull on all of her different skills from all these different universes in order to fight this all-encompassing evil, which we can go into later. But the fun of this basically is that we get to see Michelle Yeoh do a million different things, and it's just glorious.
Amaze balls.
It's I don't know. Glorious is an understatement. Like
Amaze balls. Okay, so let's get to our first impressions right after seeing the movie. What did you guys feel and what did you guys think right off the bat?
I felt everything.
Tuloy mo, sige. Tuloy mo. Tuloy mo.
You feel it all at once?
All at once. No, it was just I don't know. This movie was just amazing in a way na parang it was a roller coaster of emotions. Ganun eh. Tapos, there's just so many things about it that you can compare to other movies, yet it still stands out as something really, really amazing. Like if you're familiar with, remember the time in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s when, big studios were just churning out crappy movies, exploiting wire work and kung fu when this movie came out with Jet Li in it called The One.
Oh my God, The One.
So, which is basically
ironically, Ke Huy Quan actually did choreography for.
Oh, really?
With Corey Yuen. Yes. That's why he was so good in the fight scene here.
Yep. So,
because he did that for a while.
So this is basically The One with a better story and a much, much, much better execution. Minus all the emo soundtrack of Papa Roach. They play Papa Roach in The One.
Oh my God, that's right.
That's right.
Remember? They play Blood Brothers by Papa Roach in The One.
Cut my life in 2 pieces.
That's Last Resort, their breakout hit.
Yeah, I know.
It's
the only Papa Roach song I know, to be quite honest.
Good God.
You have to sing it like that.
Did not age well.
This is my last resort. Suffocation. No breathing.
I'm just glad we didn't have to go through the Papa Roach in this movie.
No.
No, I mean like this is like the upscale version, art house version of The One.
This is so much better than The One. I mean, part of the fun in this one is seeing how she can take on the skills of her different multiverse selves. And it's not like The One where she has to kill them to get their powers. Here, she can just draw on them as long as she does something super random. And so the fun part is seeing what random shit that she has to do to absorb the powers of her multiverse selves, and also seeing what skill she gets after she does that random thing. Like, I imagine the directors had like a whole yellow pad just full of stupid random things that they could make their actors do to trigger their powers.
I fucking love that part.
And I love the fact that they rationalized it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like there is a reason for all of the fucking randomness in this movie.
I want to talk about the random stuff later.
Yes, we will. We will. Don't worry. But first impression for me, it was overwhelming, but in a really good way. Because obviously, judging from the title, you're going to get overwhelmed. It's everything, everywhere, all at once. And even before shit hits the fan, you see the life of Evelyn as a regular person. And it is fucking overwhelming, even just for a normal person. Because, she's got the business. She has to submit her taxes, which is always... bleh. And her dad's being overbearing. Her daughter wants to come out to the grandpa, and there's a divorce on the way
that she didn't know about.
Yeah, like everything's just happening in her regular life that is just so overwhelming. And I was like, bitch, how do you finish anything? Like, how does she even manage to like breathe at this point? But that is only scratching the surface.
Yep.
That is just like the tip of the iceberg of everything that's happening in this movie. But like, it was fucking amazing. It was.
I mean, at the first part where we're introduced to everything, not necessarily everywhere yet, but everything all at once.
Part one,
felt like
everything.
Shit hit the fan because of all the stuff that was going on around her life, and which made me love the character of Evelyn because it was so relatable. Like everybody will have that moment in their lives where everything just feels so overbearing and heavy, which is why this movie completely worked for me. It's like
I
it's a cathartic release.
Could you relate?
Oh wow.
Yeah, I guess we
As
could
as a middle-aged person.
Ooh!
Wow, you people suck.
Everybody take a shot for that
I did
jab
not-
at Misha's age.
Hey, I did not address that to anyone. You just automatically assumed it was Misha.
Force of habit.
Because he reacted. He reacted to it.
Anyway, yes.
No.
Yes.
No, I was gonna say that what I liked about Michelle Yeoh's portrayal is that this movie really lets her show her range because we're so used to her kicking butt. We're so used to her being glamorous, and her last big role was like in Crazy Rich Asians, which is
Shang-Chi.
completely unlike. Oh, and Shang-Chi. In both cases, completely unlike this. She's usually elegant. She's usually poised and all that. But this movie showed her like just as an ordinary. I mean, I hate to say it, but she's just an ordinary schmuck in this movie.
Yeah. She was so dowd. She looked so dowdy. Like her hair was always in a mess. Her hair was in her face. Her face was oily. Everything. It's like I'm not used to seeing Michelle Yeoh this not pretty.
Yeah, it's the first time I've actually seen her not put together in a movie. I mean, like the last time I saw her in a movie before, aside from Shang-Chi, was Gunpowder Milkshake. And that movie that movie was actually one of the first few movies that I saw her in a small. Even if it was a small role, it made me see her have good comedic timing.
Oh, she has amazing comedic timing here.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
It was incredible just seeing her take on everything that was happening, and the way she would react to everything was just incredible.
Okay, so while we're at it, I guess we can get to the direction and execution of all of this. But where do we start? Wow. Where the fuck do we start?
I don't know. Like maybe we could start with the easiest, about the first chapter, about everything, where it's just it even if it was a short span of time, it just made you feel the dreariness of everyday life and the redundancy of what everyday life is about and how tiring it could be, which was great. And then you get to where you get to everything, everywhere, all at once. And it's just I don't know. It's just really something. It's just an experience that's hard to describe. You really have to watch it just to understand what I'm trying to say. Maybe my co-hosts can articulate better.
This is Andrew grasping for straws.
I mean, we can try.
This is me trying to swim, guys. I'm drowning in my thoughts.
Try, I guess.
We could try. Okay. Let's get to the visual components first, because there was a lot. I think, if anything, this was a general assault to all our senses. But visually was what really took the cake, because it was able to show us so many different versions of not just Michelle Yeoh, but different scenarios, different worlds, different fingers.
different fingers.
If I had to put my hot dog on it, I would say...
Ew.
In that world,
oh my God, what is wrong with you people?
I know, but you put it in such a weird way.
They didn't use the hot dogs in that sense. They were using like Jamie Lee Curtis was playing the piano with her feet.
Oh my God.
Fine.
Right.
Which just made me die of laughter. I saw, what the fuck am I watching?
Okay, so given that there are many multiverses out there, I could just ask you guys, which one's your favorite first?
The Wonker Y multiverse.
Yeah, you stole my answer. But yes, that was my favorite.
No, but I love how these filmmakers, the Daniels, allude to certain films.
Yeah.
So I mentioned that. I was like, oh my God, it looks like a Wonker Y movie inside a movie.
It was
really
so
did.
good.
What am I watching?
Yeah, that was my personal fave. As a fan of the filmmaker, they were paying homage to, and I just love how. So this is a different universe, right? This is a universe where, Waymond. I can't get over Waymond. Waymond.
Why is his name Waymond?
I don't
Because
know,
he
but
can't
it's
say
so cute.
Raymond.
I thought there was a typo in the subtitle, but that was his actual name. His name was Waymond.
I know.
If you saw
but
the
it's
divorce,
adorable.
the document,
And he's played
Waymond.
by Ke Huy Kwan, who was, This kid was in the Goonies. This kid
Indiana
was like Indiana Jones sidekick in Temple of Doom. And now he's an old man and he just owns it. I was surprised.
He was amazing. And here he looked so good. I'm sorry, with the suit and the glasses.
In the Wong Kar-wai.
Actually,
Yes, in the Wong Kar-wai one. He looked so good in that. There's partial.
Doing his best Tony Leung. I'm like, what the hell?
I mean, it was good. It was
really good.
It was good.
And I love how, so we have the normal life of Evelyn where, it's a rocky marriage. Waymond wants a divorce because, it's not working out. So the Wong Kar-wai inspired one was a universe where they didn't run away together. They didn't end up together, but, Evelyn ended up being this big kung fu movie star. And he happened to be in one of their premieres. And then this whole universe was just a big what if. It's like, what if we didn't get together, but then there's this part of them that wants to get together, and they had successful lives apart but still found each other. And I'm a sucker for that. It was amazing, and how it was shot too, very Wong Kar-wai.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
In that universe though, she had biceps on her pinkies.
Her pinky fu. Oh my god.
Yeah. Everything is kung fu, even the pinkies.
Okay, look. My head says I love the Wong Kar-wai universe where she's a famous movie star and Waymond represents the life that she didn't have. But my heart says Rakakuni.
Rakakuni.
Rakakuni. I love it.
One universe because Evelyn can't remember the title of Ratatouille and she swears that she remembers it as being a raccoon on the chef's head. So there's literally one universe where she's working as a chef in a restaurant where there's another chef who's really being run by a raccoon. It is glorious. It is just the most ridiculous thing.
It's so stupid.
random.
And Harry Shum Jr.'s in it. Sorry, I'm going back to the thirst here. But I fucking love Harry Shum Jr.
Go for it.
Yun lang. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
I just love Harry Shum Jr. Ever since Glee, I have loved him.
I love the raccoon.
Yeah, the raccoon's pretty funny. And how when the raccoon was taken away, he was like, no!
You took everything from me. He taught me how to cook and spin eggs on them.
Oh my goodness. This movie is insane. I mean, like every universe has its own look, feel, treatment.
Yeah.
And it's just so fun that you tend to forget that, the stake of the multiverse,
Yeah.
that the entire existence of the multiverse is at stake. I don't know what it is about this year or what it is about the past couple of years where people have been more receptive to multiverses. But this is like the second major blockbuster this year where it's come into play. And, this one, I mean, I'm sorry. I actually think this one might be the better film. I love Doctor Strange. I really did. But this one really just takes the concept and runs with it.
I mean, it's just
Rakakuni.
I mean,
hot dog fingers.
I could agree with that. Just mainly because
there's a universe where there are rocks.
No, I'm just saying.
That's a thing.
I can see where you're going with this, just because it's so original. It doesn't have anything that it's tied down to, so it could be as creative as it could be.
Yes,
hot dog fingers, cooking raccoons.
Oh, I
I
really want to get to the rocks. It's one of my favorite universes. So there's this one universe where there is somewhere, it looked like a Grand Canyon of some sort. And, you have Joy as a rock and Evelyn as a rock just talking. But you don't hear them. It's just subtitles.
Yep.
So good. It's so fucking good.
It's so good because after the hullabaloo and the craziness of all the other universes, this just slows it down. And it's absolutely quiet. And
I actually wouldn't mind going there.
Yeah. And even if they're just rocks, the conversation was so sincere. It was still very, very touching because that's where you see Joy opening up to her mom about how she feels about this whole crazy shit that's going on. So it was literally down to earth, but it was so good.
You remember when we were talking about this earlier when I said it was like everything, it's the title in itself. Like I said, I compared it to the movie The One. It's actually also another version of Turning Red.
Yes, this is like if you cross Turning Red with The One. And that's another
Right.
thing that seems to be going around a lot now, because as many multiverse stories that we have, whether it's Doctor Strange or Spider-Man or whatever DC's doing on TV, or what DC's going to be doing in their upcoming Flash movie, there's also been this abundance of movies that we've had lately where people are just working through their parental baggage, whether it was Encanto
Turning
or it
Red.
was Turning Red. You know, I mean, like, or fuck it, even Ghostbusters Afterlife. Why is everybody dealing with parental trauma now in blockbuster format?
Because it's true, millennials have a lot of
But at least we
problems
now
with their
have an-
boomer parents.
I mean, it's
Well,
not a bad thing. It's just
It's real.
very interesting trend that we seem to be going through.
Yeah,
But it's
right
at
now.
least
real.
Now we have an art house version of it. Oh,
Yes.
Yes.
Art house version of Turning Red.
yeah.
It is. It really is.
No, but going back to that sequence with the rock verse,
The
the rock verse,
The rock
the rock
verse.
verse. But yeah, it was another one of. It was actually, if not for the Wonka Wai thing, just because of its purely visual homage to one of the best filmmakers. It's like super. It was one of those moments that was super deep and that you just appreciate everything because it makes you feel like, oh, so sometimes it really is just a conversation where you need that you need to be at peace with someone.
Just quiet it down and simplify everything.
Mm-hmm.
And
Exactly.
that the Wong Kar-wai universe actually, ironically, was the one that seems to be closest to Michelle Yeoh's actual existence. Because in that one, she was a world famous martial arts actor. And there was actually one clip that showed her at the premiere of Crazy Rich Asians.
Yes.
So I guess Evelyn did star in Crazy Rich Asians in that universe.
Evelyn Yeoh.
And I like the fact that it was real. It really played upon the concept of what if we took a different path in life? What if we made a different choice? What if we took a different job? What if you entered a different relationship? And it just all came to a head there. Especially when he tells her that, in another life, he would have just really liked doing laundry and taxes with her. I mean, in this universe, he's a successful CEO. She's a world famous megastar, but they're both alone at the end of the day. And he says he would have been happy with her in another life. But we've seen that other life and they're not necessarily happy. And you can't help but thinking, did we make the right choice? Did we go with the right person? Did we choose the right path, the right job, the right life? And oh my God, this movie.
That question in itself is also very Wong Kar-wai, and I love how they incorporated those feelings into that certain universe because it just reminds me of In the Mood for Love.
Yep. And it takes on just an added level of, I'm not going to say resonance, but it's just another one of those connections because Ke Huy Quan, I'm sorry, I pronounce it differently every single time I say his name.
Short Round.
Yeah, I just call him Short Round. So Short Round. Wow. People have probably been calling him that his entire life.
Or Data.
Fine, whatever. Or Data. Short Round, grown up Short Round in this movie.
Long Round.
Indiana Jones sidekick.
Oh my God. Just say Waymond.
Waymond. Yes, he also did some of the choreography for 2046. So I'm like, this guy's been everywhere.
2046?
Takes on, yeah.
Oh.
So it takes on an added resonance because this is somebody who, after its initial success as a child star in The Goonies and Indiana Jones 2, dropped off in the early 90s because there just weren't that many roles for Asians. And he turned to behind the scenes stuff. He was doing production stuff. He was doing action choreography until he just stopped because he figured there weren't any roles for Asians until he saw Crazy Rich Asians. And he said, hey, maybe there's roles for me again. And this is essentially the first gig he booked. And holy shit.
He was
good
amazing.
Job,
amazing.
He was. He was just the kid actor back in the day. That's where I remember him from.
How to describe the roles in this movie is that they're all mostly so erratic with how they would act because especially those parts where they start, doing the random stuff and then or another version of themselves would jump into that body. It's just you see the complete transformation, especially for Evelyn and Waymond. I love saying his name.
I know, me too.
It's
Short
just so
round.
much data. Ba yan? Anyway, but it's just so much fun to see how quick and how snappy the changes happen, and you see that he still has it in him. You know, like it's great. It's just refreshing watching. Seeing him again. Like I honestly, I don't really remember him in any other movie aside from The Goonies. And
I
Indiana
didn't know he
Jones.
had range. Oh
yeah,
my god.
the
Same here.
range. So he goes from like a dorky husband to suddenly this action star kind of dude who's like
Yes.
Alpha Waymond who's out to
And
save
he's
the
actually doing
multiverses.
most of the stuff.
He is, and he's doing his own kung fu. He's
The-
doing cool shit. All the backflips and the kicks and whatnot. And then
Yeah.
you see him in like his serious CEO mode, all like
All
dressed
suave.
up. Yeah. So
Right.
just the range each of the people here in this movie.
Although I didn't
shows.
get to see him as a rock.
No, oh.
No.
He'd
but
be a
you
really
saw
cute
his
rock.
influence. You saw his influence because the Wimpy Waymond.
Wimpy Waymond.
Wayman.
He's got this little thing where he likes to put googly eyes on things and drive
Yeah.
nuts,
Yeah.
wife nuts. I thought it was
Cute.
kind of sweet.
It's adorable.
The googly eyes even make it into the rock universe.
Yep. As Evelyn would call it, Google eyes. No more Google eyes.
Google eyes.
Like,
That's such a tita thing to say. Google
Yeah.
eyes.
And she's like, why is the laundry here? It's happier here.
No, but I was even more surprised with Waymond just because I didn't know that he was if he was doing behind the scenes work. I didn't even know that he was a fight choreographer. He had something to do with stunts because that first fight just blew me away with his freaking fanny pack.
The fanny
Dude,
pack.
the freaking fanny
For a-
pack fight.
For a few years, he was actually the assistant of Corey Yuen, who was one of Hong Kong's premier choreographers. So I was impressed. He actually worked on The One.
Ah.
It's funny how I mentioned the one and I didn't even know he worked on it until you mentioned it.
Mhm, mhm.
I was like, wow.
Interesting.
The role of Evelyn was actually written for Jackie Chan. And he was, flip-flopping on, he wasn't sure. And eventually when they couldn't get him, they rewrote it as a woman and they named her Michelle. And because they were really courting Michelle Yeoh for it. And when she read it, she loved it. And she told the directors, the writers, she said, I love it. I want to do it, but don't name her Michelle. This character has to have her own life. So let's
Aw.
give it to her. I'm like, oh my God.
That
And now she makes fun of Jackie Chan. She thanks him for giving her the role of a lifetime. She thanks for passing this up, buddy. I owe you one.
I was
'Cause
just-
this is huge.
thank you, Jackie Chan.
I
It was
For saying no.
yeah.
I
thank
was just
you.
thinking Jackie Chan might be too old and too injured to do this.
Maybe.
Maybe. But
Always
I think he's
possible.
in a better condition than Jet Li is currently.
Well, I'm grateful that they changed the role to a woman because I feel like I don't know, it's what the world needs right now. We need a strong woman lead, and the fact that she's also a minority Asian, and that aspect of her motherhood and her culture really gave so much flavor to the story and so much character to Evelyn, because we have these Chinese traditional issues that they're skirting around, like her daughter being gay and her not living up to her parents' expectations. That's very Asian. So
Oh, man.
yeah.
I read one write-up that said, never underestimate an Asian mom's ability for denial.
Oh yeah.
And that's completely on full display here.
It
And
is.
even the writers said that reworking it into a female, into the mother, actually worked better on an emotional front.
yeah.
Because for all the multiversal insanity in this movie, it is grounded by a surprisingly emotional an authentic emotional place, much
It
like
is.
like Turning Red. Like that one was also full of supernatural stuff, but at the end of the day, you believed it because it was about a mother and a daughter, and I think that also applies here.
Yep. Also, I appreciated that the Michelle Yeoh casting more now that you know that Jackie Chan turned it down.
Said no.
Said no. Just because if it was a Jackie Chan movie, you would know what to expect. Jackie Chan is known for the comedic fight choreography. But I've never seen Michelle Yeoh do fight choreography the way she did in this movie. Because you would fully expect that from Jackie Chan. But, seeing Crouching Tiger, Shang-Chi, among many other, James Bond,
She
right?
was so hot there.
So I would never expect that from Michelle Yeoh until I saw this. Like, oh my god!
Yeah,
the range fully extends to her martial arts.
and I've never imagined Michelle Yeoh in a multiverse setting because we're used to like her roles being grounded. No matter how much kung fu she does, she's still grounded. But then at this level of outrageousness, just seeing the trailer
Exactly.
in itself, I
Exactly.
think what impressed us the most was the fact that Michelle Yeoh was starring in it. Not because it's a multiverse thing, because we've been seeing that from all the superhero movies that have been coming by. But Michelle
one.
Yeoh,
But speaking of all those superhero movies, I think something that makes this one stand out a lot is that number one, it wasn't based on anything. Not a comic
Yes.
book, not a TV show, not a cartoon, not a
Mhm.
graphic novel, nothing.
Something
And then number
completely of
two,
its own.
It stars a minority
Mhm.
and she's middle-aged, she's a woman, and the two leads of this movie, I mean, all the leads are minorities basically.
Mhm.
But then the other lead is also a middle-aged woman. It's Jamie Lee Curtis. Can
Oh,
you please talk
love
about
her.
Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yes.
It's just incredible that we live in an age where this kind of movie even gets made at all.
Yep.
When everything now is blockbuster product.
And
Not
it
that
gets
I'm saying
this.
that we don't enjoy those, but this is just something that's so out of left field that
And
it shouldn't even exist.
And it gets so much hype, so much appreciation, so much fanfare from
Yep.
viewers.
Not a bad
Mhm.
review on my end.
Same here.
Absolutely.
I haven't seen any bad reviews from anyone in my echo chamber, whatever that is. Yeah, since we're already at the cast, we've talked about Evelyn and Waymond. Let's touch on Deirdre's since you already started with Jamie Lee
Oh
Curtis.
man. Deidre is the IRS agent who's auditing the Wang family. And, she's played by Jamie Lee Curtis in like her frumpy. If you think Evelyn's frumpy, Deidre is even frumpier.
Yep.
And Jamie Lee Curtis goes all out. She said that growing up, because she started acting at a young age and modeling and whatever, she's been sucking in her gut since she was 11. So she was happy to have a role where she could just let it all hang out, like literally. And there is no shame in this performance.
No.
I mean, she and Michelle Yeoh, they just give everything. They
Oh
don't
my
care
God,
about
the
making
hot
fools
dog
of
fingers.
themselves.
The
Okay.
hot dog fingers.
Yes, let's get
Oh
to the
my
hot
God.
dog fingers.
Okay, there's one universe where Deidre and Evelyn are a couple, but it also happens to be a universe where everybody has hot dogs for fingers.
What the fuck?
I cannot.
It's so stupid.
I not understand this
amazing.
world where people
Deidre's
like.
hot dog fingers have nail polish on them.
Yeah, but those might be edible because I think they have a lot of oral sex with those.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. The ketchup and mustard thing,
I mean,
whenever
like,
they're turned on, is kind of gross, but it makes sense. It makes sense to me for some reason.
But you don't. I don't know. You don't bite a hot dog fully expecting like mustard and ketchup ooze.
Maybe it's cheese. Maybe
Maybe
it's a
they're-
cheese dog.
Maybe they're not biting those hot dogs.
And we're overthinking it.
Yes, we are. Look, it's a lovely, lovely universe.
I'm sorry, I froze.
Which-
Still
it's
thinking
a
about the
lovely
hot dogs.
universe where these two people love and care for each other. They just need to work shit out. Okay. They need to be willing to work shit out. And I think that's something that applies to every universe, because as we go through the film, we find that things only get better when Evelyn decides to start treating people with kindness. And that's something that she learns from her so-called wimpy husband.
Wimpy
And
Wayman.
I think I really like that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not sorry. I mean, I really appreciated that. That
Mhm.
no matter what you're facing, no matter how tough the times are, that you can always find time to be kind. And then she starts kicking ass with kindness. And I just lost it. I did not know you could kick people's ass with kindness.
No, the best part was when she did this whole chiropractor martial arts thing to that one guy. I was like,
and he was
what?
so grateful.
I wish that was me.
I want to go back to Deidre absorbing the powers of a fucking pro wrestler. I want to go
was
back to that.
amazing.
That was fucking
Jamie Lee
amazing.
Curtis doing a backbreaker.
And she sucked in her belly.
And drop kicks and she
The
did a
drop kick
pile
was just-
driver.
The dropkick was the best. I was like,
I know.
what?
I was living for that fucking drop kick. It was. I'm not like a wrestling fan, not as much as you guys, but that scene was just like fucking hilarious. Okay, we fucking love Deidre and her apparent love for cookies too. So let's get to the daughter, Joy. And I feel like
Right.
she was so good. She was
Dude,
played she was played by Stephanie Shu.
Mhm.
Sue.
Sue.
I'm sorry if
I
I'm
think it's Sue.
Sue. Okay, yeah, Sue. I'm sorry for the wrong pronunciation, but I feel like she had so much fucking fun being Shushu Baraki, whatever her name. What was her name?
Jobu
Jobu
Tupaki.
Tubaki.
Jobu.
Jojo Chewbacca.
It's okay to
Jomi
get it wrong. Like Evelyn couldn't even
Krubaki.
get it
Okay.
right.
I don't know. Yeah, they all
Okay.
get it wrong all the time, but yeah.
So apparently, there's this entity that wants to destroy all the multiverses, and it's called, the entity's name is Jobu Tupaki, and Jobu has the ability to see all the universes at the same time and experience them at the same time, and it's made them kind of crazy. And apparently, Jobu Tupaki is embodied by Evelyn's daughter, Joy, and she wants nothing more than to just end everything. And apparently, the representation of everything is an everything on it bagel,
Genius. It's fucking genius.
which works for me because I love bagels and I love everything on it bagels. And I don't know if I can eat one anymore, knowing that it represents the end of all existence.
Well,
It's
you know,
fucking genius.
I don't think you'll be eating like squid ink bagels because I haven't seen any black bagels for sale.
I just want to know what kind of drugs they were sniffing when they wrote this movie.
I know.
Maybe they just had an everything on it bagel that day.
And then law inspiration.
So much bagels in this movie because you know when they had to recharge when Alpha Waymond, and Evelyn were hiding. They at one point in the IRS conference room, they were like, "Oh, save your energy, eat this. It's another bagel with cream cheese." Now I'm hungry.
And I think this is where it all comes together when Evelyn finds out that Joy is actually her nemesis. And you know, all the parental issues come up and you see like her issues with her mom, like especially that coming out thing. And I totally understand her point of view or Jojo Chewbacca's sorry, I can never get the name right. But here you have Joy's point of view where she's giving up on the world and she doesn't give a fuck because she thinks it's all meaningless and she's seen everything. And that is a very valid and human state to be in. Like at some
Mhm.
point, a lot of us just kind of want a gigantic comet to end it for all of us, especially for
Yep.
me, nung May 9. But at the end of the day, it's our relationships and the tiny moments that they're what give value to our life, and that's what really brings them back together, no matter how strained their mother-daughter relationship is. You know,
I really like that.
yeah.
It
It's
was
another one of those enjoy the little things. You know,
Yeah.
kind of like Soul.
Like,
my God,
like I
pati
think
soul
I
na
mentioned this in a
somebody.
previous. I mentioned this in a previous episode. It's like, you know how when you leave the house and your mom says, "Look both ways before you cross the street. Be careful. Don't talk to strangers. Drink your milk. Whatever. Do you have your wallet? Do you have your stuff with you?" And you're like, "Oh, mom, of course I have all that stuff. Don't worry. I know. But the day she doesn't say it, you're gonna start missing it. As stupid as that sounds.
Mhm.
And in that, and this movie was just about that. As much as Joy thought that existence was meaningless, she still wanted her mother to be a part of it, whether it
Mhm.
was to go with her into the meaningless void, whether it was to tell her to stay, or whether just to give her a damn hug. She just wanted
Mhm.
her mother to be involved in some shape, form, way, or size,
Yeah.
just so she knew that she mattered to her.
Mhm.
And I thought that that was a very powerful message.
It was.
I think everything. I mean, like no matter how wacky or silly or just so outrageous everything was in this movie, there really was a heart.
Mhm.
And you, the heart of that movie was the relationship that Joy and Evelyn had. It was so strained
Mm.
and so relatable.
Yeah.
You know, nothing that a really, really good and hard conversation can't fix.
I mean, the whole reason that Michelle Yeoh starts accessing all of her alternate selves' powers is because she figures that she wants to be on Jobu Tupaki's level, just so she can maybe try and save her daughter. She figures
Exactly.
if she's on the same level, then maybe she can make a difference. So she can do something about
Mhm.
it. And I thought, oh, wow, she's willing to do all of that and risk
Yeah.
killing herself, going insane herself,
Yeah.
just so she can help a version of her daughter, not even her actual daughter, but a representation of her daughter because she cares that much.
And I love how also a turning point in the story was where she actually had the chance to kill Joe. God damn it.
Chewbacca.
Chupacabra. God damn it. Yeah, she had a choice to kill Joy in one of the universes as ordered by her alpha dad version. She had that chance, but as a mom, she chose to just save her and find other ways and not actually kill her daughter because no matter what universe you put her in, Evelyn will never, ever, ever want to harm her daughter. And that just gave me the warm fuzzies. And that's where things turn around. That's where she accepts all the multiverses and, finds that new way to kind of like save Joy.
And that's where I think the similarity also with Turning Red comes in that as much as your parents might be, your mom especially, might be overbearing, might have a million things in their plate or whatever, they still want what's best for you. And even if they don't entirely understand you now, chances are, maybe they're working up to it. Whether you have a girlfriend or whether you're a multiversal entity bent on destroying all of existence, your mother's still trying to understand you.
Yeah.
And I really like that.
Mm-hmm. And also, besides all that, all the sentimentality aside, I just fucking loved seeing Joy in these different crazy costumes that could totally make up for like a K-pop concert or a Lady Gaga kind of like stage outfit. They were
All on her own.
amazing.
She might have
All on
been
her
the
own.
best dressed villain ever. Like
She had so many different amazing outfits and I don't exactly know why, but I'm not mad at it.
okay, yeah. It's
Like,
nuts.
can somebody explain why her outfits are like that? Because I don't know, but I like it.
Okay, so now that
it was good stuff.
So now that we've talked about the outfits, can we talk about her crazy ass fight scene? Because the outfits came out to play, and she had one of the most outrageous fight scenes in.
Oh my
any
God, the one
movie
with the
I've ever
dildo!
seen. That entire thing, the dildo was just an aspect. But yes, the one with the dildo,
An aspect.
an act. Okay. But come on, in that fight, her whole intro as a villain was that crazy ass fight scene where she blows up a person into confetti.
Oh,
It was like a better version of Harley Quinn's fight scene from Suicide Squad because this one could go all in.
It might have been, no, it looked like, it reminded me of the old boy fight scene on drugs.
In the corridor.
Yeah, it was that.
Many drugs.
It was
Lots of
probably
drugs.
acid and ecstasy and I don't know. Like,
it was fucking insane. And I feel like Joy's character, or actually the actress herself, she's Stephanie Sue, she just milked it. She had so much fun with it.
yeah.
You could see how much fun she was having being this super villain. As in stark contrast to her normal kind of
Dreary,
emo, jaded,
angsty Joy.
Joy. I'm sure she had so much fun with all the outfits, all the fight scenes. And also, speaking of fun, something I really want to get to also, whether it's the cast or the directors and writers, the art department, camera department, post-prod, I feel like all the filmmakers seemed like they had so much fun making this and it really showed.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
I mean,
The shots and the production design was so diverse and playful. And, acting jumped from serious to campy from time to time. But it all worked. Like, a multiverse storyline is the perfect playground for filmmakers to play with so many elements. And they managed to do that without, superheroes and superpowers and making it more grounded than your usual Marvel multiverse setup.
Absolutely,
Superpowers. Well, yeah, superpowers are relative in this movie.
Yeah, relative. Pero parang it's not a driving force as opposed to the Marvel cinematic
Yes.
universe kind of thing where
Yes.
like all these beings have these superpowers. They have to have these superpowers for it to be interesting or exciting. But this doesn't.
Which
And
is
that's the
why it
amazing
was
part.
so much. No, it was which is why I appreciate it so much more because it's not the MCU,
Mm-hmm.
and that's coming from me.
That
big
is fair.
statement.
That is
Big
fair.
big statement. And well, my favorite thing about this film is that it's very high concept, involving multiverses and whatnot. Like at first I thought my brain was going to explode trying to comprehend all the universes and shit, especially when Alpha Waymond was trying to explain like, oh, there's this multiverse and then you get your skills from this one, then you have to do this to get your skills, and then but at the core of it, like what you already mentioned earlier, it's a very emotional, relatable, and very human.
Mm-hmm.
And it might be the best movie I've seen this year with butt plugs as a main plot.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Yes.
Okay, so all right. Let's get to the jumping pads. Okay, so to access a certain ability you have in another multiverse, you have to do something like totally random to like really access that, and jumping point to like jumpstart that transfer.
This is my favorite fight scene, by the way.
Oh my god, I can't believe it fucking involved
by the way,
butt plug.
By the way, that guy she was fighting with in that fight scene, he's the death dealer in Shang-Chi.
Oh.
Yes, he is.
Yes. I was like, oh, it's that guy.
Tangina, sobrang random. So we had the butt plug. We had like a paper cut in between each finger.
Oh man, that was painful.
That was the hardest part to watch.
That was impossible for me to watch.
And finally, they were counting about 1, 2. I was like, oh my god.
And Wayman was like, it only works if it's an accident.
Which is true.
It only works if it's an accident.
It has to be a high pitched voice if it's
yeah. Okay. There was also chewing lip balm.
That was gross too. That was nasty. I was like, why is it? I can't imagine biting up chapstick.
The gross one was eating gum from under a table.
Oh my god! There's so much nasty stuff in this movie.
So nasty.
And now we're just listing it down.
Yeah,
it just get like the one thing you mention after the other just gets nastier. It's like, I don't know.
Butt plug.
Or peeing yourself or snorting a fly.
But nothing beats jumping on a butt plug.
Yeah, that was...
Nothing beats jumping a butt plug. I mean, look, I already said that it looked like a butt plug when I saw that Deidre was showing off her trophies, which made sense because, she was an IRS agent. So fine, yes, it would look like a butt plug because we're not subtle at all. But when it actually came into play as a butt plug,
oh my god,
and then played a major focus in a fight scene,
I was dying.
I want to shake the hands of the people who made this psychotic movie.
I know.
Dude, that whole fight scene, I couldn't breathe. When that butt plug came into play, I was like, I couldn't breathe. I was like, oh my god, what am I watching? And Michelle Yeoh was in it. It's like, am I really alive to be seeing this?
Here's the funny, the directors were like, at first they were like, oh shit, everyone else is doing multiverses, and they had to like stop watching Rick and Morty because they're like, oh man, they're doing everything we want to do. So they had to shut everything out so they could do their own thing. And I'm glad that they did, because this is just another level of batshit.
It is. It's like you have this high concept film which should be serious usually, but you have all these random kago details na at some point you see the filmmakers as really intelligent but really stupid at the same time, but it's like the best mix of both because it's so mature and immature at the same time, but that it just works together. Like what the fuck?
Yes.
I mean,
it injects seemingly senseless humor that just fucking makes sense.
They have these guys are known to do like high concept stuff. Like, I mean, you've seen Swiss Army Knife Man. Their corpse is literally a Swiss Army knife in function. It's like, so
that's the one where Harry Potter is a farting corpse for the entire film.
Oh my god!
Yep.
It's amazing.
It's also very amazing.
And the Daniels also directed the music video for Turn Down for What, which is
Turn Down for What?
Which is one of the most ridiculous videos you've ever seen.
Turn Down for What?
It's driven almost entirely by crotch power. Catch it on YouTube if you haven't seen it. Please do.
It's amazing.
So
it's a millennial
makes
thing.
Sense that they would make something like this. It's like the next level up, I think.
Yeah.
The next evolution.
I just think that it just takes a certain level of intelligence to have something so
this stupid.
No, that's the thing. It's so stupid.
That resonates emotionally somehow.
Yes. It's just, you have to be really smart to be able to pull shit like this off.
It's amazing.
I agree completely.
And there may be a lot of like seemingly random shit here, but from what I've seen, things aren't like they're just out of randomness. Like there is a reason. Even the little details, like let's say what we talked about earlier, Rakakuni being a mistake Evelyn made in the actual universe, like thinking that it's not Ratatouille, it's Rakakuni, and then biglang may universe.
There actually is a universe.
Tangina, may
with
Rakakuni. That I thought it was a throwaway joke, but it wasn't. It wasn't.
I know, it was so good.
And like
galing
even
that one
Ang
got
ganda ng
emotional.
placement eh. I mean, like, it was great placement kasi parang yun nga, akala mo throwaway joke and then they actually incorporate it.
I know.
And
And-
it's part of the script.
it is. And like think about this, her being like she filed her taxes, right? And then Deirdre's questioning, oh, why is a karaoke machine a business expense?
Business expense.
Yes.
But, so this says you're a singer and a chef. But then you have a universe where she's actually a singer and a chef. Gago! Ang galing! And like
It
her,
was so good. Everything paid off.
yes, and like even the jumping pad of her saying "I love you" to Deirdre. There is a universe where she actually means to say "I love you" to Deirdre. Alam mo yun?
Yung jumping pad nila. I love you.
He was just trying to kill her.
And okay, so sorry, one more thing. This is the millennial music nerd in me. Something as simple as sneaky lyrics to "Story of a Girl by 9 Days" had a callback. If you noticed, Alpha Waymond had a line like, you know, there's something up with the universe, blah 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 blah, and you know that something's off. So your clothes never wear as well the next day. Your hair never falls in quite the same way. And I was like, where have I heard that before? And then later you hear the song through a radio. Parang gago! Ang genius! Kahit ganun lang kaliit, parang gago!
Kasi
Ang
I mean,
galing!
like, it's just really everything that parang everything is placed so well and subtly eh. Hindi siya yung on the nose
Absolutely.
na,
And-
alam ko yung reference. Hindi eh.
Oh,
I didn't even catch that until you oh nga no.
Well, watch it again. And then when he
Diba?
does say the lines, like your clothes never wear as well, the next day you start singing.
God,
Hair never falls in quite the same way. Na, 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 na. This
Can I
is
just
the
throw
story
a
of a
special
girl. Okay,
mention?
sorry. Go. Cry the rhythm drown the whole world. Okay, sorry. Go on.
She looks so sad in photographs.
Absolutely
And
love
I love
her.
her. Then she smiles.
She smiles. No, I was gonna say that. Can I just throw a special shout out to James Hong because he's also great in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He
Gong
plays
Gong.
Evelyn's
Gong Gong.
dad. He plays Evelyn's dad, and you know in the default universe, you know, he doesn't speak English. He's stuck in his wheelchair. But in the Alpha universe, he's like a badass mission leader, and his wheelchair becomes a mech.
Oh yeah. Naging Transformers yung wheelchair niya, gago.
That's where you see the Rick and Morty influence na.
And you know,
Diba?
James Hong, he's been in freaking everything. He was the bad guy in Big Trouble in Little China. He's Poe's father in Kung Fu Panda. This dude is everywhere. And Anjo
OG.
and I were just, you know, we were talking about it. Like he got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame finally, like a couple of weeks ago.
Oh really? Good for
Yep,
you.
yep.
Because he's been in everything. For,
I
like, he's been
know.
acting for like 70 years.
Amazing.
So I was happy to see him here and playing such an active role. He could have just been like, you know, the doddering old fool in the wheelchair, but then he's the one who sets things in motion where they're all trying to stop Evelyn.
I was amazed.
So-
I thought he was just gonna be that bumbling grandpa in a wheelchair, just asleep from time to time, you know? Like
Same.
he was,
Yep.
but that's how they presented him at the start.
Yeah.
But then, fuck,
Yeah.
he's so badass.
I thought he was going to be
Yeah.
more comic relief, just being, you know, the grandpa who didn't know anything
yeah.
or was oblivious.
Seriously, this movie, this movie should not exist. Okay, we're just that damn lucky. Because if you said it on paper, just describing this movie to somebody with zero knowledge, you would sound like a crazy person.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that all the universes that were presented, or most of the universes that were presented, were a reflection talaga of what. Because it was mentioned in the movie that Evelyn had so many goals and so many things she
yeah.
had planned for that she wanted to do. And every
I felt so
universe
bad
that was
for her.
presented, except maybe for hot dog fingers and rock, you know.
No, but I
parang
felt
she had
so
a-
bad for her.
I mean,
Like,
like, yeah,
they said she could access all those abilities because she was the one with the most potential because she was the one Evelyn who'd never accomplished anything. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, that is so fucking painful to be told.
That is like a backhand compliment right there.
Backhand
That is
compliment. Yeah, but
horrible.
yeah, exactly. That's why parang it resonated talaga a lot. Na parang, di ba sometimes you feel like, oh, I have so many things to do, but
Oh,
then you don't
yeah.
get to finish it or you push back projects. So it's kind of
Or
like
dreams.
our dreams, exactly, But malay nyo, some alpha friend or whatever comes our way and says, you have the most potential.
And
Cool.
and given that Evelyn's character is not exactly young, you'd
Yeah.
expect like people telling you, "Oh, you're so young, you can still do all these many things with your life." But then to be told that at that age just gives you so much hope
Mhm.
because you've been told all these years in your life that you do everything while you're young, and when you get older, you won't get the chance to.
Mhm.
But you see actors like Michelle Yeoh, see actors like I'm sorry,
Waymond.
Waymond. Yeah,
Wayland.
Data.
Waymond.
Fight choreographer of the one.
Yeah, and even James Hong and Jamie Lee Curtis. I mean, they're achieving. I mean, this must be an actor's dream to be able to portray
Absolutely,
their
yes.
characters.
And the fact that it's the
Dream
original
project.
story.
Oh. So, and I also, just like what Anjo said, I also resonated with that message to Evelyn that, we all have these dreams that weren't able to come to fruition, but that's okay. In some universe, there will be cons and pros to whatever path in life you take. But you know what? Just make good with what you have right now. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and no matter how much or how little we achieve, it's in the relationships we have with people. And so it was a good reminder for me and maybe other people out there who may have been jaded by hardships in life, like maybe Joy was as well.
Or
So-
May 9.
Joy had no joy.
Joy had no joy. No, she did.
Mm.
Her name was Becky.
Oh,
But she didn't-
that's so cute though.
Yeah. She didn't look like
Joy,
she was happy, though.
Joy and Becky were so cute though.
Mhm.
When they were finally accepted by the family. So adorable.
And I love that how worried Evelyn was that her father wouldn't accept that his granddaughter had a girlfriend. He was totally cool with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was pretty
It was just
sweet.
Evelyn, taking the weight of the world on her shoulders and trying to be everything for everyone, as
Yeah.
I guess a lot of parents do.
Mm.
And when it came down to it, what Joy said, I mean, what my takeaway that really hit me was she said, nothing matters. Because if everything's already on the bagel, then nothing matters. Everything is shit. Life is shit. Existence is shit. So if nothing and Evelyn comes back with, well, if everything is shit and nothing matters, then all that matters is what you decide to do next. And now it's like, damn.
Lalim.
God.
I know.
Man.
So yeah, the little things, dude. The fucking
and-
little things.
And to think we've gone from googly eyes, butt plugs,
Butt
Google
plugs.
eyes.
Dildo chucks.
dildo
nunchucks.
nunchucks.
Mech,
What the
mech
shit?
wheelchairs.
We've gone from all that batshit
Rocks.
crazy shit to that message that just hits
To a-
so hard. What the fuck, Daniels?
Good fucking movie.
Si Daniel
What are you snorting? Give me some of that.
I also would like some.
Okay.
Galing talaga.
It's clear that we absolutely love this movie. But dare I say, is there anything you'd like to change about it?
It's too high concept for me to try to kind of think about what I want to change.
That's true.
So parang, I don't want to think about changing because it's so perfect the way it is. Maybe I would
Uh-huh.
want to explore more of the multiverses just to
Yeah.
see how far Michelle Yeoh could go. But then, as it is, I wouldn't change a thing. That's how much I love this movie.
Okay, please don't crucify me for this, but I have something to say.
Oh,
Please
okay.
don't kill me. Okay, I just had a teeny tiny, very minor gripe. It's very minor.
Go
but
for it.
I'm scared just saying this, but okay. As much as I adore Harry Shum Jr., and I understand the need to milk the cameo, having a fellow Hollywood friend joining this production, and the Rakakuni universe was fucking hilarious. But I wish his character had a bigger role in Evelyn's normal life. Because I found myself struggling in trying to remember where he fit in her normal world. Because, Jamie Lee Curtis had that. Deirdre was there. Even the random creepy bearded dude from the laundry shop had that. He had like a multiverse version, but then he was in the normal life. And even the cops had their moments in the normal life. So I was just wondering in the middle of the movie, yes, I'm so happy to see Harry Shum Jr., but I was just trying to place where he was from in her normal life. And I know that's not necessary because this is a multiverse anyway, and you can meet all sorts of different people. Like Evelyn had that like little kung fu lady who taught her or whatever. But
Pinky Fu.
Yeah. But I don't know. That was just me trying to connect the dots, and that might be a problem with me. I don't know. Am I gaslighting myself for this? Like me trying to find that connection?
I think it's fair.
But
you know what? Now that you mentioned it, parang, I wanted more Jenny Slate.
Oh, Jenny Slate was so good.
With a Pomeranian nunchucks. I was like, what the fuck is she doing with her dog?
And she punted the damn thing.
Oh my gosh.
She punted it before she started twirling it or whirling it around its leash.
Yeah. But yeah, that's just me, okay? Just that Harry Shum
No,
moment.
I think that's valid, but also I think that's just adds to the whole randomness of the universe.
Yeah,
Some
maybe
people will matter more to your existence than in others.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I understood it din naman. Like it's not, like I said, it's not a major gripe, but maybe this is also just me with my priorities wanting to see more of Harry Shum Jr. Bow.
Probably.
I think it's his abs.
He didn't even take his shirt off.
No, I was gonna say like if I had to change something.
You make him take his shirt off?
Yeah, sure, whatever. Make the raccoon take his shirt off. The raccoon was the one driving.
At one point, it was Michelle Yeoh driving.
I was gonna say that because something I appreciated in the movie was its sheer unpredictability.
Oh yeah.
So I don't think that I could conceivably change anything because that would be like anticipating. And what I appreciate about this was I could not anticipate anything that was happening.
It's the same.
It was incredible. It was a fun ride, and I'm glad No Way Home came out last year because this is definitely the best multiverse movie of this year. Sorry, Doctor Strange.
God damn it.
Also, what I thought, I mean, like,
no, I haven't even seen Doctor Strange yet. Now I'm gonna have such low I have a high bar.
It's really good. No, Doctor Strange is really good. It's just
I have a really high bar now for multiverse movies. God damn it.
Anyway,
because Everything Everywhere All at Once is just that damn good.
No, it's just something so completely original. Also, I just wanted to mention again, because you mentioned Harry Shum, that it was so funny because I didn't think that the mechanics or the physics of a raccoon driving a person using a person's hair would translate in the normal universe Evelyn was in. But Evelyn jumped on him, IRS version of Harry Shum Jr., and drove him with his...
And it worked?
And it worked. It was in the climax. It's like, I can't forget that shit.
Pretty good. So, yeah, I guess it's safe to say that we totally recommend this movie. Like, fuck, if you haven't seen it yet, why?
Yeah, that's safe.
If not, why? So, yes, we totally recommend it. So, yeah.
I totally recommend it because it's just one movie that kind of reminds us if you find your life meaningless or you're trying to look for the meaning in life, it's what you put in it that matters. It's the little things, really. It's just a nice reminder of, if you feel overwhelmed, you try to go back and scale down a little bit and see what you have in life. That's my takeaway from this movie. That's why I love this movie.
Yeah.
Despite it being so freaking random.
And you know what? Another takeaway, pay your taxes. Joke! Ayoko.
Pay your taxes.
Joke lang. Ayoko. Yung isa nga dyang nasa pwesto, hindi nagbabayad ng tax. Ako pa kaya. Char! Anyway, I guess that's an episode. So, yeah. Please go watch Everything Everywhere All at Once by the Daniels. It is fucking amazing. With so much emphasis on fucking amazing. So, yes.
It had drama, action, comedy all at once.
Everything. Literally everything everywhere.
Absolutely good stuff.
Like if there is a movie I'd really recommend you watch.
Kaya talaga bagel yung gamit nila, di ba? I mean, like, because this movie is the film version of an everything bagel.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness.
Now I want.
I want a bagel.
Okay, so we're gonna go get bagels now. I don't know how, but we will. So if you have any suggestions of any episodes you want us to do, sound off on our social media. We have Facebook, facebook.com/Sub-Auteurs podcast. Did I get the new handle right?
Yes?
Yes.
Yes, I did. All right, so we are on
Akala ko
Facebook.
humihingi ka ng suggestions for bagels.
But cream cheese, yo. Cream cheese. I'm cool with cream cheese.
Cream
But
cheese
anyway,
and
yes.
salmon.
Sub-Auteurs podcast on
Everything on
Facebook and Instagram. And we also have a Facebook group where we share lots of fun news or just random movie related memes. It's Sub-Auteurs We Like Movies. Go join us there and let us know how we're doing. And just if there are any movies you want us to do besides this. And I guess we'll see you next week or whenever Misha gets to find the time to record from the US of A.
Someday.
Someday. Okay, so yeah, this has been the Sub-Auteurs. My name's Mai.
I'm Misha.
And I'm Anjo.
Bye-bye. Thank you.